Hey everyone, I wanted to run through really quickly how you can invite somebody to your project. So to start, there are a couple of ways that you can do this by adding people to your project. But one of the really nice things about BuildBook is that you're able to add people like your pro team members, your clients, and even collaborators like your subcontractors, your bookkeepers to your projects. Everybody will always be kept in the loop so that everybody can see the progress going forward. And this allows you to just seamlessly share information. So if somebody wants to know something, they can just really quickly jump into the project to take a look at any of the updates or any of the daily logs or schedule updates or anything like that. So to start, I'll show you the first option, which is going directly through the project. Now, one of the things that you do have the ability to do is within your templates, if you are basically adding a ton of people or assigning them to your tasks and things like that in your templates, what you'll notice is that those assignments and things will come over, but it's not going to automatically invite anybody to your projects. So I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. But to start, we're going to go through our project. We'll click on the settings. And then this is where we can add people to the project. So this is people on the project, and it will allow you to invite your pro team members, your clients, and your collaborators. Now, if you are adding just a few people to a project at a time, this is definitely going to be the way to go, is to go through the individual project and then go through and add people. The reason why I personally like to do this is because I don't actually like to invite anybody to my project until I know I have everything set up. So one of the things that I like to make sure I have set up is a schedule as well as the selections. Once those are all kind of set up and where I like them or where I want to see them, then I'll go through and start adding people to my projects. So even if I have them assigned to tasks, or I've assigned them to tasks and pulled them over through a template, I'm not actually even going to think about inviting them until I have everything set up exactly how I want. Now, once I have everything set up exactly how I want, I can go through and I can add my pro team members. So when you click on this pro team member drop down, you're going to see every single one of the pro team members who are added to your account. If you don't see somebody here, it means that they're not added to your account. So they could be pending an invitation or they could be just not added at all. You can really quickly and easily check that by clicking on manage your pro team right here to make sure that that person's invite fully went through or that you've invited them to your pro team. Now, again, really quickly, pro team members and collaborators are not the same thing. Collaborators are invited on a project by project basis, whereas your pro team members, they're actually invited on the account level and they usually work for your company. We'll go ahead and add a few pro team members actually. So once I added one, I can then go through and add another. And if I want to, I can also adjust their permissions on this project. I can do this at any point in time. So if you ever forget this on accident, you could just come through and do that really quickly. But as you can see, I could really quickly and easily go through and adjust these permissions for this particular pro team member. I can basically leave it as read and comment only on pretty much everything. And then of course manage projects. And you'll notice once I kind of set some of these permissions, they changed a little bit depending on how I set them. So when I set read and comment only unassigned, the schedule was read and comment only. You can't have both. Tasks are a part of the schedule and the schedule is a part of tasks. So if you change something like that to read and comment only, there will be spots in the project that they won't be able to see or enact on within everything unless you change it across the board. We do have a article that goes over permissions and roles and things like that, so I would definitely check that out. But you can do this for individuals, like so, like I'm doing, or you can blanket those permissions when I go through and show you how you can invite or bulk invite people. So now I'll click on add. And one of the things that you'll automatically notice is that it just says down here, 2 pro team members have been added. It doesn't say anything about pending invites or anything like that. We don't do that here anymore. If they're part of your pro team and you want to add them to a project, you can just really quickly add them to the project. Additionally, you'll also see that the difference between permissions. You'll notice that Cecily has full permissions and that Nick only has reduced permissions. And if I ever need to, I can get rid of any one of them just by clicking on this trash can at any point in time. For collaborators, it's going to be slightly different, although you'll see a lot of the same permissions. So you can either choose somebody who you've added to your people. So as you see, I have a lot of people in here. It's not going to show me any of my pro team members because it's not designed to. It is only designed to show you people who are either collaborators or clients even who have that ability here. Pro team members are always added through your pro team member section right there. Now, if I want to, I can very quickly just start typing a name and click there to add that person. And again, if I want to add anybody else, I can just click on add another. And maybe this person isn't actually involved in my account just yet. In that case, what I'm going to do is I can start adding in their information. So I can add in their first name and their email in order to send out an invite for them to create an account and join the project. If you don't want to do this or you messed up something, you can always just click the little trash can and it will bring you back to your original collaborator. Or if you were just adding, nobody, then you could just click out and click on add collaborators again. Again, you'll see a lot of the same permissions here, except for the manage project permissions, which was the no yes permission down here. Collaborators don't have that ability to essentially see the project settings, so they're not able to add people to your projects or do anything like that. Once I'm ready, I can just click on add. And again, what you'll notice is it'll just say collaborator added. So as long as your collaborator already has an account, essentially, they'll basically just be added to the project. And then what they can do really quickly is accept their invite via either by clicking into BuildBook and clicking on invites and clicking join, or simply just clicking into their projects and seeing a new one is added. Finally, there is a client. Before you add a client, you're going to want to set their access level. So basically what you do here is you'll just choose what you want them to see. So maybe I don't want my clients to see the schedule or the task because that's not really what they're concerned with. They really only want to see the financials and selections here. So I can essentially mark those out so that they never even see these tabs. They'll never even know that there is a schedule involved or that there's any type of thing like that. They'll simply see the updates, chat, financial selection, and files as tabs. And then you'll have to go through and add some additional information. If you're ever curious to see what the client sees, you can just click here and it will show you really quickly. Otherwise, you can click on add clients. And again, the exact same thing happens here. You can either click on somebody who you've added to your people. If you've added them with a tag of client, you can search for client and you can really quickly and easily click on that client to add them. Or again, you can just click on this add someone new, add their first name, add their email, and click on add right here. Once these people are added, they will get an invite in order to gain access to the project. So even if you have clients with multiple projects, they will still have to always accept an invite. And the biggest reason for this is because we didn't want somebody to be able to accidentally invite, just some random client. And then all of a sudden you have just some random client reaching out to you asking why they're on this project or things like that. So they have to still be able to be invited and accept that invite through their email before they can gain access to the project. Now, once you do that, you'll just click on add. And one of the things that you'll notice very quickly is that there's a difference. It'll say invite sent right here. It'll have the ability to resend the invite email if you need to, but it doesn't just add them to the project like the pro team or the collaborators do in that case. Now, if you are trying to bulk add somebody to projects, it's actually really easy, but you're going to want to go through the people tab. So we'll take Andy, for example. Maybe I need to add him to essentially every single project that we work on because he's going to be working on some facet of it at some point in time. What I can do is I can click on projects right next to his first name. Click on invite to project in the top right corner. And then I can select the projects that I want him, or I can just select all. So I can go through and just select a couple of different projects to add him to. I can add him as a collaborator or a client. It just completely depends. And then I can set up his access. So his access permissions are going to be blanketed across all of these projects. So now instead of having to go through each individual project, restart adding him with different kind of permissions or anything like that, I can really quickly and easily bulk add him with the same permissions for every single project, which makes life really easy. And then, of course, just like I said, once he'll get an invite basically saying that he's been added to projects. And if he wants to, he can always click on the invites right here. And he'll see them. If he hasn't joined the project for some reason, he'll see a join project right here. But otherwise, typically we'll just add him directly to the project. Now, finally, if you have people in templates who you've added as assignees to tasks, those people will carry over to the project, but they're not automatically invited. So again, we try to control as much information as we can or give you the option to control that. So what we heard from our pros was that some people wanted to just be able to assign them to tasks so that they could see who was assigned. Some people wanted to be able to assign them to tasks and invite them at the same time. And in that case, we've kind of created the best of both worlds. So this project has people on it who are assigned to tasks but are not invited to the project yet. I can see that really easily by either clicking on the task and then clicking to see if somebody is a no access user. Or the other way that I can really quickly see this is by going to my settings, scrolling down, and you'll notice under collaborators, there is now a no access to the project option. So again, if you're using people on templates, you're assigning them to tasks, and then you want to bring them over to the project, you're going to still have to invite them to the project, but we've made it really easy just by clicking on this invite to project button. You can click there. You can set up their permissions and things like that. If you wanted to, you'll click on add. And then, of course, it'll say the invite has been sent because this particular collaborator has never actually gotten an invite from me. But once the invite is cleared, you'll see that this pending goes away and they'll just be up here in the collaborators as normal, like so. Hopefully that answers all of your questions about inviting people to projects. But if you do need any help, feel free to click on this question mark help icon in the top right corner to jump into our real-time chat where we can help you and guide you with anything. As always, happy building.